Welcome to the channel. If you're watching this video right now, you need to know that something massive just happened and it's about to hit your wallet in the next few weeks. While you sleep, while you work, while you're living your normal life, a military operation of unprecedented scale is redrawing the global energy map. And yes, this means the price you pay at the gas pump is about to change drastically. We're talking about a campaign that has already hit thousands of targets on Iranian territory. And here's what nobody is telling you. These aren't just military bunkers and missile bases. We're talking about critical energy infrastructure, oil export terminals, refineries, strategic storage facilities. Iran controls one of the most important oil routes in the world, responsible for 20% of global flow. And that route is under coordinated attack right now. So here are the questions you should be asking. Why aren't the major news networks talking about this? How long until you feel this at the gas station? Is this the beginning of a global energy crisis? And more importantly, how much is this going to cost you? I'm going to show you exactly what's happening. I'm going to connect the dots that mainstream media is ignoring, and I'm going to give you concrete numbers on how this will impact your life. Because at the end of the day, your political opinion doesn't matter. Whether you support these military operations or not doesn't matter. What matters is that you're going to pay the bill. Let's get straight to the facts. At the end of March, Admiral Brad Cooper, CENTCOM commander, made an official statement that went almost unnoticed. He confirmed that American forces hit 10,000 targets on Iranian territory. 10,000. Let that number sink in for a moment. But here's what he didn't say clearly, and what the media isn't reporting. When you add American strikes with coordinated Israeli strikes, we're talking about approximately 20,000 combined targets. That represents over 1,000 targets being hit per day at the peak of the operation. And here's the crucial part that changes everything. A significant percentage of these targets aren't just military installations. We're talking about oil export terminals, refining facilities, pumping infrastructure, strategic storage systems, and even electrical grids that power entire refineries. Iran was exporting 1.3 million barrels of oil per day before this operation started. Each facility destroyed means fewer barrels available in the global market, and you know what happens when supply decreases but demand stays the same? Exactly. Prices go up. And we're not talking about a small increase. Countries that were buying Iranian oil, mainly China and India, now need to seek more expensive alternatives in other markets. This creates a domino effect that pressures prices globally. The operation was staged intelligently. First, stealth fighters like the B-2 Spirit and F-35 destroyed Iranian air defenses. Then, with airspace controlled, older platforms like the B-52 came in with massive payload capacity. The result is that the United States can now choose with surgical precision which Iranian oil facilities survive and which ones get destroyed. This isn't just military superiority. This is total energy control. Save this video. When prices go up in the coming weeks, you'll know exactly why. Now let's talk about what's really happening behind the scenes. You heard Trump saying that Iran is begging for a deal, right? But here's what he's not saying publicly. This deal isn't primarily about nuclear weapons or missiles. It's about oil. It's about production quotas. It's about energy sanctions. It's about who's going to control the flow of oil from the Persian Gulf for the next several years. The plan being negotiated includes points like permanent limitation of Iranian oil production, American access to strategic oil fields, control of export routes, inspections at oil terminals, and participation of Western companies in Iranian refineries. Iran publicly denies that direct talks are happening, and there's a simple reason for that. The Iranian economy is collapsing. Oil revenue represents 70% of their government budget. Without oil, there is no government. So yes, talks are happening through intermediaries, and the central focus isn't weaponry. It's about who's going to control the oil spigot, and Iran has weeks, not months, before a complete economic collapse if these operations continue at the current pace. Now let me pause here for a moment because I need to talk about something important. This type of analysis that connects military operations with energy crisis and direct impact on your wallet is being actively blocked. Major news channels don't make these connections because their advertisers are energy companies that don't want premature panic in the market. YouTube's algorithm considers this content controversial, but someone needs to tell you the truth. So if you're finding this content valuable, if you want more people to know what's really happening, hit that like button right now. Share this video. Help break through the algorithmic blockade. Because the truth is that while you're watching this, decisions are being made that will empty your wallet, and you deserve to know before getting caught by surprise. Let's dive into the real numbers of the destruction. Admiral Cooper used an interesting phrase, precision strikes having tangible effects. Translation, Iran's export capacity is being methodically destroyed. Priority targets revealed by intelligence sources include offshore platforms in the Persian Gulf, land pipelines, natural gas liquefaction facilities, and even anchored oil tanker ships. In mid-March, intelligence analysis indicated that approximately 60% of Iranian export capacity was compromised. The Wall Street Journal, cross-referencing data from multiple sources, reported that 18 of 29 export terminals were damaged or destroyed, and 12 refining facilities were hit. The immediate impact: Iranian exports dropped from 1.3 million barrels per day to approximately 500,000 barrels per day. That's a drop of more than 60%. And satellite photos published by the Washington Post confirm massive fires at Karg Island, Iran's largest export terminal. Smoke plumes were visible from space. Structural damage that analysts classify as irreversible in the short term. Now connect the dots with me here. 75% of Iranian missile launchers were destroyed. This means that refineries and oil facilities are completely defenseless. Every export terminal, every refinery, every oil field is now an easy target with no effective protection. The 30% of defensive capacity that still exists, approximately 140 mobile launchers, can attack oil tanker ships, but they cannot protect fixed energy infrastructure. And here's Iran's desperate strategy. If they can't export, they'll try to make sure nobody else exports either. 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Insurance companies have already increased premiums by 300%. Oil tankers are detouring routes, adding 15 days of travel and millions in extra costs. And here's the trick. Even without a total blockade of the strait, costs are already rising because risk has gone up. 1/3 of Iranian strategic reserves have been confirmably destroyed. Production facilities have been damaged, which means there's no way to replace what's being spent. Analysis suggests Iran has fuel and capacity for 4 to 6 months of normal operations. After that, we're talking about total energy collapse. Now let's talk about why the Navy matters so much here. 90% of Iranian oil leaves by sea. Destroying the Iranian Navy is destroying the Iranian economy. And the numbers are brutal. 92% of the Iranian Navy's large ships have been sunk. But let's translate this economically. 15 oil tanker ships were destroyed, maritime transport capacity was reduced by 80%, and the maritime export route is practically closed. 130 vessels were sunk in total, including oil tanker escort ships, patrol boats that protected offshore terminals, and small oil transfer vessels. The direct result is that international commercial oil tankers are refusing to enter Iranian waters. But the threat hasn't completely ended. Iranian fast attack boats and mini-submarines attacked 7 oil tankers in March alone. And here's the important detail: they don't need to sink the ships, they just need to damage them. One single attack and insurance companies cancel all policies for that route. Ship captains refuse to sail without insurance. Oil companies prefer to buy more expensive from other sources than risk total losses. The cascade effect. Prices go up before there's even real scarcity. The American focus now: eliminate even the asymmetric threat. The objective: make the Strait of Hormuz 100% safe for Western oil tankers. The unspoken consequence: the U.S. will control who exports oil from the Persian Gulf. Let's talk about how the U.S. managed to destroy oil facilities so deep inside Iranian territory. The answer: by destroying air defenses first. 80% of Iranian air defenses were eliminated, which equals 100% of energy facilities now vulnerable. The logic is simple. Without air defense, every refinery is a defenseless target. 2,500 Israeli attacks used 6,000 munitions. 10,000 American attacks used an estimated 24,000 munitions, assuming the same rate. Priority targets after air dominance: 23 main refineries, 29 export terminals, thousands of kilometers of pipelines, strategic reservoirs with capacity for 180 million barrels. Current situation of defenses: isolated systems incapable of protecting critical areas. Iran can only choose: protect cities or protect oil, not both. Strategic economic impact: air dominance equals energy control. The U.S. can destroy any oil facility at any time. Absolute bargaining power: make a deal or watch your economy evaporate. Admiral Cooper said B-52 bombers are executing high-volume attacks deep inside Iran. What wasn't said: these attacks include critical energy facilities. Why the B-52 changes the economic game: payload capacity of 32 tons of munitions, endurance to stay hours over targets. Translation: it can destroy entire oil complexes in a single flight. Example: the Avaz oil field, Iran's largest, could be disabled in 2 to 3 missions. Tactical economic analysis: if the B-52 is flying, no defense can protect energy facilities. Iran lost the war when they lost control of the airspace. Now it's a matter of time. How much of the oil infrastructure will be spared? Other platforms on energy missions, A-10s in the Strait of Hormuz, attacking small Iranian vessels, protecting oil tanker routes, escorting export ships, Apache helicopters patrolling offshore terminals, protecting extraction platforms, eliminating Iranian fast boats. The new reality, the U.S. isn't just attacking, it's controlling. Every American flight demonstrates they can stop Iranian oil flow whenever they want. Message to markets: Persian Gulf oil has a new owner. So what does this mean for your wallet? Immediate impact in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Gas prices at the pump, 15 to 25% increase expected. Why? 1.3 million barrels per day off the market. Insurance premiums tripled, route detours adding additional costs. Medium-term impact, 2 to 6 months. If Iran doesn't make a deal, oil could hit $120 to $150 per barrel. Gasoline could go up 40 to 60%. Diesel and jet fuel follow the same trajectory. If Iran makes a deal, prices stabilize at levels 10 to 15% above current. Iran stays under American quota control. Market remains managed by Washington. The big game, the U.S. doesn't want to totally destroy, it wants to control. Objective, Iran producing oil under American supervision. You'll pay more either way. Scenario 1, war, scarcity equals high prices. Scenario 2, deal, American control equals managed high prices. Other economic impacts, transportation, freight will rise 20 to 30%. Petroleum-derived products, plastics, fertilizers, chemicals go up. General inflation, cascade effect across the entire economy. Aviation, airline tickets 15 to 25% more expensive. What you can do? Anticipate purchases that depend on transportation. Consider energy alternatives if viable. Prepare financially for 6 months of elevated prices. Follow negotiations. The faster the deal, the smaller the impact. Let me recap the core impact. Massive military operation equals global energy crisis. 10,000 plus targets include infrastructure that fuels the world. Your wallet will be hit. It's a question of when, not if. The inconvenient truth: mainstream media doesn't connect the dots because energy companies are advertisers. Governments don't want premature panic. Complexity scares audiences. We show you the complete truth. Subscribe to follow developments that will affect your wallet. Like to break through the algorithm that's hiding this. Share, because everyone needs to know what's coming. Turn on notifications. The next few weeks will be critical. We'll continue tracking every attack on energy facilities, impact on global prices, development of negotiations, and we'll warn you when it's time to act. Memberships available with exclusive market analysis. Super chat for priority questions. Your support equals our independence to tell inconvenient truths. Final warning: when you're in line at the gas station watching prices climb, remember you were warned here first. The storm is coming. Be prepared.